Hello everybody, I'm Adam.
And I'm Mari.
And we are AM Vintage.
Welcome back everybody. It's been a while since we've been on.
Yeah, we've been, something's been going around.
Yeah, so we're trying to recover.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit still under the weather, but enough to where...
Everybody in the house was sick. It started with the kids.
Yeah.
And it came to me, and
I'm the last one, but
Mari,
and it's just lingering on, but more of like a sore throat with me. So,
if you guys are waiting on a movie review, we're supposed to be doing an Elvis movie review.
That's in the wings. Yeah,
that's been on hold since we've been sick. So
we're still planning to do that, and we're trying to catch up. But today we thought we'd try something a little bit different, more of a Q&A with each other, just so you guys could get to know us a little bit more on a personal level, and that way,
sure,
you guys know exactly who we are.
Yeah, where did we come from?
Where did we come from?
What kind of people are we?
Who we are, and again, then after that, hopefully we'll give you guys a chance to ask us some questions, and we'll do a follow-up with those questions. What do you think?
That's exciting. I can't even believe what's happening.
So we're going to put each other on the hot seat, so hopefully you can stick around and please join us.
Yep.
My baby, she done me wrong. My baby, she paid. My baby took her down to the river where she lived out the last long day.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are going to be doing a Q&A with one another, so you guys get to know a little bit about us. So I'm going to be interviewing Adam for this portion of the video.
Isn't that exciting?
So how are you feeling, Adam?
I mean, this is my first interview with Mari. This is pretty exciting stuff here, you know?
Yeah, it looks like it seems like you're on the hot seat right now.
It is hot, too.
It's very hot.
It's hot.
Well, you're lucky it's not a lie detector test.
I know. I know.
You would be asking about a lot of what, skeletons in the closet?
It feels like it might be like a...
It might be a setup.
It's like a setup. This might be a psych evaluation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's an inside joke. We'll explain why Adam always says that.
Yeah.
Because of my background.
Yeah, she has a background in that. So this might just be a psych eval.
We'll see about that. Well, Adam, we want to get to know you. So why don't you tell our subscribers, our friends, which I like to call our AM Vintage family,
a
little bit about yourself. Who's Adam?
Who is Adam? Who is this crazy guy with this Elvis collection, right?
Right.
I'm just, I'm a father of two kids. You know, I have a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old. And we live out in the country with the interviewer, with Mari. We all live out here.
Yep.
And, I work at my brother's pizza place. Mm-hmm. He has this pizza place called Old School Pizza, which is in an old high school. My brother bought an old high school out in the town where we live. It's just right up the road from us. I could walk there and be there in 1 minute. And he turned the old gymnasium into a pizza place.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and my brother lives in the rest of the building, so... Yeah.
Tell me what's kind of stuff that it can be found in that pizza place.
In the pizza place, well, hanging from the ceiling, we have a DeLorean from Back to the Future. We have the bunkers from All in the Family, the wax museum bunkers. We have an Elvis statue. We have
Laverne and Shirley, right?
We have Laverne and Shirley. We have tons of pop culture memorabilia. So it's a really cool place to work. And it is
popular with the town.
Yeah, it's a little town near DeKalb, Illinois, and the place is called Old School Pizza because it's in an old school. That's where I work. It's my brother's restaurant, and it's crazy. We'll put a little video or some kind of photos or something up.
Yes. Well, we wanted to do kind of like our short video.
Yeah, we're gonna do a short video.
Yeah.
Like I said, we live in a small little town.
Yeah.
We live right next to a train. You guys can hear that train going by.
Always.
So
it's so annoying.
We live right off of the Lincoln Highway. which was, other than Route 66, Lincoln Highway was one of the first major highways in the United States. So.
Yep. So crazy.
Yeah, but,
apart from that, we also...
we like to buy and sell antiques.
We do have our booth.
We're always driving around trying to find something that we can make a little bit of money on, so that's exciting.
So, moving on to our passions, I know that you have quite a few of idols, but more importantly, who are the main idols?
Who are the main idols? Who are the people that inspired me? Right?
Yes.
Well, Elvis is always number one. Elvis has been like my main guy since I was like 10 years old. So I've always been an Elvis guy. And in school growing up, people are always like, when you're a big Elvis fan, I'm sure a lot of the people that watch us have the same thing. People start calling you Elvis. So when I was in school, people always called me Elvis or E or something like that. But Elvis, Jerry Lee. I love Jerry Lee Lewis, the Killer. I love his all his music, but I always listen to his country. I always find myself listening.
Yes,
to that.
you do. Now, when do you think when was the first time you heard the name Elvis Presley?
The first time I heard Elvis and knew about Elvis.
Yeah.
Well, I was probably around 8 or 9 years old. My dad went to Graceland with some friends of his. And one of my dad's friends was a huge Elvis fan. And he had a big Elvis collection. Not as big as this collection that we've accumulated here. But anyways, him and his buddies from work, they went to Memphis one year. And I just remember that my dad was going to Graceland. And for some reason in my mind back then, I knew that people collected Elvis stuff, and I knew that there was an Elvis bust. And I'm like, God, I hope my dad gets an Elvis bust when he goes to Graceland,
Oh.
I just always wanted one for some reason. Like this, but not the lamp, And, he never brought one home, So I guess from that moment on, something in my mind was like, I got to get some Elvis stuff. I need an Elvis bust, and kind of started my journey, like looking for Elvis things.
I know you did mention that you also learned from him by watching the 68 comeback special.
Yeah, my dad, back when Blockbuster Video was big.
Does everybody remember that?
Yeah. What is it? What was that song?
I
Was
forgot.
it What a Difference? Is that Ooh, What a Difference? Blockbuster Video. I don't know.
It was
Maybe
long time
something
ago.
like that. I don't know.
You remember Blockbuster, and I'm thinking Family Video.
Family
one.
Video was kind of a smaller chain.
Yeah, it was a smaller chain.
That is in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So
I just remember I would hate when they would say, please rewind.
you have to rewind.
And then if not, you get charged.
You get a fine, right?
You get a fine, yeah.
I was telling Mari earlier that we didn't have a lot of money. We were poor growing up. And when we went to the video store to rent a VHS tape, we didn't even have a VHS player. So we had to rent the VHS player, which came in this big plastic briefcase, just to go home and watch like Beetlejuice or whatever. But I remember my dad rented the 68 comeback special.
Oh, gosh.
And I was 10 years old, and I saw that thing, and I couldn't believe it. I was hooked,
Yeah.
So
So after that, when did your collecting started then? When was
that's
the
the same
collection?
year that I saw the 68 comeback special, like 1989.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to, there's a grocery store chain in the Midwest, Jewel Osco or Albertsons. And I know if you live in like Memphis, you guys go to the Piggly Wiggly or whatever, or Kroger. But we have Jewel. So I walked to the Jewel Osco and I bought an Elvis poster. I'm going to stick a picture up of this poster that I bought. This was the very first Elvis thing I ever bought.
Yeah.
And just from there,
You were hooked, huh?
I was hooked. Yeah.
You were just
Well, when I was always a collector. When I was a kid, I the same year that I got into Elvis,
Yeah.
I was really into Batman. I always had a thing for cool guys that wore capes. You know what I mean?
Hey, how'd you come up with the cape? Ever hear of Elvis?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
So you've been to Graceland.
Yeah.
So was this
But
your before
real quick,
that?
what I was saying is I had a big like Batman collection. I was always a collector.
Yeah.
So I started collecting Elvis stuff. And slowly I kind of faded away from the Batman and just kept going with the Elvis.
Good.
So,
I don't know how I would feel about,
if we had a bunch of Batman stuff around
yeah,
here.
that would have been something else. Yeah. I mean, not saying I like Batman, don't get me wrong.
Well, good thing he wasn't a good singer. You know what I mean? So,
Or else it would have been Batman.
yeah.
Well, before that, you mentioned going with your father a lot. Yeah, he seemed like your traveling buddy at that time. How many times would you say you visited Graceland?
I've been to Graceland over 50 times. Like after 50, you quit counting. Some people know exactly how many times I've seen people say like, this is my 287th tour. It's like, how do you keep track of that?
You just don't.
But
although you do have stubs, I mean, you have a collection.
I have a
of
giant picture frame
Yeah.
full of stubs. But one year I went down there because I wanted to move to Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
So I intended on moving down there. I got a hotel room in an extended stay hotel.
Yeah.
And I decorated it with Elvis, I put Elvis all over the walls. And
yeah.
so I was down there for over like 2.5 months. And I told you, I toured Graceland every single day because I got a season pass,
Yeah.
I'm not rich, so I wasn't doing $75 a day,
Nope.
So I bought that like $200 season pass.
Yeah.
So that I could just go, whenever I wanted.
So what would you say was your fondest memory at Graceland? Or do you
Well,
have
the
any?
first year that I went was 95.
Mm-hmm.
And, before I ever went to Graceland, I just always thought Graceland was going to be like this, just beautiful place, which it is, but like out in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
just like with a, surrounded by a forest or something with lakes and,
Yeah.
For some reason back then, before I went to Graceland, I never realized that
It was like on the busy
Highway
street.
51 was going right
Right.
down in front of it, and
Yep.
there's like car dealerships everywhere and
It just looked different.
hotels
Yeah.
and the Foot Doctor,
Yep.
Church's Chicken, whatever,
Don't get me hungry.
So I didn't realize that Memphis, it was like that,
Mhm.
But I fell in love with it no matter
Yeah.
what. Like, I love Memphis. So.
Yeah. Well, the things you hear now that it's so dangerous out there, like I've never.
Well, I mean, I guess it is,
It's-
in some cases if you don't watch what you're
but
doing.
it's, but I think that's anywhere.
That's anywhere.
It's dangerous over here.
We're near Chicago.
Right. So Chicago's dangerous
But,
too. So.
My favorite memory of Memphis was probably, I don't know if any of you guys went to Memphis in 1997. This was the 20th anniversary of Elvis's death. And Elvis Week 97 was, crazy. That's the first time they did the Elvis on the video screen concert.
Yeah.
So, they had his original band, James Burton,
Mm-hmm.
his drummer, Ronnie Tutt. They had, all the background singers, the Sweet Inspirations, the Stamps.
Yeah.
They had Jerry Schiff. They had Charlie Hodge. I mean, everybody was there.
Gosh.
So, and we were talking about this earlier. There was just this weird feeling in the air. Like I never thought Elvis was still alive. I've always, accepted the fact that Elvis passed away. But for some reason at that concert on the 20th anniversary, you were just thinking like, oh my God, is Elvis going to show up? Is Elvis showing up tonight? But it was just,
Oh gosh.
that was an awesome night,
Yeah.
that concert.
It seemed like it, yeah.
And it was the first time they did the video concert.
Yeah.
And that's the night that Lisa Marie showed up
Mm,
and did Don't Cry Daddy, the duet.
awesome to hear.
Or no, was it?
I thought you guys in the ghetto. Wasn't it in the ghetto?
in the ghetto. Well,
Well, she did a couple with.
I've seen her every time
Yeah.
she went to Memphis and did the Elvis duet. I was there. So
It could have been
the first time was in '97,
Mhm.
and then she did it like every 5 years.
Oh wow,
So yeah, I believe you're right. The first time was in the ghetto,
it had to be. That's the one I remember.
or it could have been "Don't Cry, Daddy."
But I want to say that because that's more
I
fitting.
don't remember.
I
don't
mean, it's
remember.
more fitting because it's Daddy. But I never.
But yeah,
never
that
seen
was
it.
awesome.
You might.
But I remember when they did Suspicious Minds, the Elvis vocal started skipping,
Oh gosh, no.
and so the band didn't know what to do, and all of a sudden they had to stop in the middle of Suspicious Minds.
Oh wow.
But the crowd was so excited because the concert was so awesome. So the crowd
Just kept
started,
going.
they started, like, play it again. So the band, they fixed the video and they did it over again, Suspicious Minds.
Yeah.
And the concert went on.
That's awesome.
And it was awesome. Yeah.
Oh, Adam. Speaking of Graceland, you did mention, Adam, I thought it was cool that you talked to me before about this. You had a cool experience with one of the, was it the housekeeper's son?
Yeah,
or
I wish I
somebody?
could remember his name.
Yeah.
For some reason, in my mind, it's Curtis, but I'm
But
probably...
can you let them know, like, what was your experience? How did you
probably
meet this
wrong.
person?
Well, when I was down in Memphis for like 2.5 months, back in around 2011. But anyways, I would tour Graceland every day.
Because you had a season
Just to
pass.
hang out, I wanted to hang out in
Don't
Elvis's
forget, you
house.
had your season's
I had my
pass.
season pass. But I ran into this guy one day while I was on the tour, and it turns out it might have been Mary Jenkins' nephew or somebody that was related to Mary Jenkins, who was Elvis's cook. And he was a little boy at the time, and he said that every once in a while he'd get to go to Graceland and hang out with his aunt. And he remembers Elvis coming up to him and rubbing his head. And I remember that day I toured Graceland with him.
That was awesome.
And it was just cool to tour Graceland with somebody that was there,
Yeah.
I know Elvis's stepbrother, Billy Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
He lives around Memphis or maybe in Memphis. And I know every once in a while he goes on tours with people.
He does the personal tours.
Yeah, the personal tours. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Well, speaking of, like personal tours, and also, like, have you ever been, you've never done the VIP tours, right? Or anything like that?
I did do the VIP tour the very first year they started the VIP tour. And they didn't have their together. So it just, one of these days we're going to do the VIP tour.
Do you want to, yeah.
But
Yes.
yeah, back then, I remember now the VIP tour is like in the, I guess they call it the annex. It's the old apartment that Elvis had made. That's, I guess, the old garage maybe. But
Yeah, because we're not allowed there.
you're not allowed there. That's like the door right when you're leaving the jungle room and going outside. There's that door right there.
Mhm.
It used to be part of the Graceland tour back in the 90s, but they ended up turning it into VIPs. So.
Yeah.
But I've been in there back when it was part of the tour. I remember 95 was the first year I went to Graceland.
Yeah.
And that was right after they opened the kitchen.
Now, I know you're mentioning that how it looked back then, but a lot of people are always commenting on how before Elvis's death, they had a certain style. Obviously, was it Linda Thompson's style, or was it, correct me if I'm wrong, was it Ginger's, or was it Linda Thompson's?
The red.
The red, yeah.
All the red. That was remodeled when Linda was Elvis's girlfriend. Yeah.
How did you feel? I mean, what's your take on that? Would you have preferred to see the red?
I know a lot of people think, Priscilla just wanted to
Came back and, yeah.
take over and change Graceland, right, or whatever.
I actually felt that way. I felt like she was jealous. Again, I don't know her.
I don't know what the deal
There
was with that.
yeah.
But personally, I think it looks better with the white couch, with the white carpeting.
Yeah.
I like the blue drapes.
But I think I would have liked to see how it did look when Elvis was hanging out with Linda. I don't know.
I know
Just
they
to
still
see
have
it.
all that red furniture. At least I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they do.
Well, don't you have the red carpet?
I have a little piece of red carpet. Yeah, I got from
so
my,
you got
Mike
the
McGregor.
Linda Thompson.
Yeah.
So how do you know? It's probably Linda Thompson's DNA on that carpet.
It might be. I gotta check for a toenail. There might be a toenail in that carpet.
Or
You know.
some nail polish.
Or maybe Mike McGregor took the toenail before he gave me the carpet. So.
And no, but in all
But
seriousness.
I was telling you, I think they still have all that red furniture.
Yeah.
And the red drapes. And, you know, they have those huge museums across from Graceland.
Yeah.
They should recreate the living room.
I think that would have been awesome.
And just put all that red furniture in there so we could see, like, what would it look like?
Well, they
with the
do
red?
have one exhibit where they have, like, Linda Thompson's
that's in
furniture, right? There's one like
well, it was Elvis's furniture, but
yeah, but it was like what was it? Was it a
no? That's
sofa
in the
or something. It was something of a room, but I don't know
that's
if it was
in the Graceland grounds. That's in the old trophy museum.
Yeah, they have something of what they had in the house.
Yeah, it's in the old trophy building.
I just can't remember what it was.
It's like a couch, something.
I
like
think
that.
so.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but
no, it's awesome.
It just.
But
yeah,
red is a little overpowering, you know.
It is, but
and for years and years, people used to always say, "Oh, have you been to Graceland?" They used to say, "Oh, it's so tacky, isn't it?" It's like it doesn't really seem tacky at all to me.
Well, no,
you
considering it's from like that, decade, whatever the decades that they were from. I mean, it's gonna it's not gonna look like something from today's world.
Yeah, yeah.
So, all right, moving on.
Moving on.
I do want to ask you, you do a lot of singing, you do a lot of shorts where you love Elvis, obviously, but you also love to sing and you have your own styles. You even have your little original songs that I find very cute, which you display in our videos, but
our intros
and our outro, yeah.
two original songs that I wrote years and years ago. Yeah.
My baby, she done me wrong. My baby, she paid. My baby took her down to the river where she lived out the last long day. She never should have broke my heart. She never should have lied. My baby, she done me wrong, and that's why my baby died.
And I always tell you this, you have your own style of music. So when it comes to singing an Elvis song, you always seem to get a lot of heat.
Well, you were asking me, you're like, why don't you sing it in your own voice?
Right.
Why are you always
because people always, I think they always come on you like, why are you trying to act like Elvis?
Why are you
You're
trying to
not
sing
Elvis.
it like Elvis? Why don't you sing it in your own voice?
And you have a good voice. Like I said, I like
Yeah.
your voice. So why not do it in your way?
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you what I told you earlier.
Right. You're going to go ahead and tell
Okay.
everybody what.
See, but before
I
Elvis,
want you to explain to them.
before I knew Elvis, I don't personally know Elvis. Before I knew about Elvis, I never cared about singing. I never sang a song in my life. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
After I got into Elvis,
Yeah.
I wanted to start singing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And who do I listen? I listen to Elvis.
Right.
So that's how I learned to sing, was listening to Elvis sing.
Uh-huh.
So if I'm going to sing an Elvis song, that's how I sing it. I'm going to sing it the way that I would hear Elvis do it,
Right. Yeah.
Of course it's going to be in my voice,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to try to sing it the way that I think Elvis would sing it.
Yeah.
And it's not something I do on purpose. It's just, I grew up listening to Elvis.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong.
So that's how I hear an
I think-
Elvis song in my head. That's how I'm going to sing it, So I don't try to really impersonate him. I don't feel like I do,
I told her to leave me alone. That's what she's done. Just what she's done. In a house built for two, in a home when it's lived in by one lonely one. And I can no longer hear footsteps from right down below.
I feel like it's just
that goes in the next question.
Yeah.
You do your skits as well. You're always coming
Yeah.
out in the famous,
My
purple
skits, like
jumpsuits and
what's his name? What's our buddy's name?
Which one, Gary? What are you talking about, Gary? What are you talking about?
Presley, the son.
Michael Presley.
Michael
I was
Presley.
thinking about Gary, your other character that you play a lot.
Yeah.
The Wild Gary. That's the 70s guy. But you do impersonate what people think you're impersonating Elvis. But that's
some people
not,
thought I was making fun of Elvis, which if
not.
anybody that knows me knows I would never make fun of Elvis. Let me
Yeah.
tell you something. When I was younger, when I was a kid, my bedroom was full of Elvis, okay? Even in high school, my locker, like if you opened it up, I didn't have like a bunch of like women or anything. I had Elvis pictures, But anyways, when I was a kid, I would have my friends come over, and if anybody said anything bad about Elvis, out the door, man. I'd kick them right out. I remember I had my nice Elvis collection, and one time a friend came over and threw a cricket in my room. Threw a cricket in my Elvis collection. Out the door. Get out of here.
Cricket?
No. Hey, to me that was like, you're disrespecting the king, man. Not in the Elvis room. So anyways.
So what about these kids?
What I'm saying is
What are you
I
doing?
would never do anything against Elvis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
what exactly are you doing with these kids? Who are you actually impersonating?
I'm
People
just,
wanna
you know
know.
what? It's my, you know what?
I always think it's your interpretation of an obsessed fan
Well, it
that
is.
likes to, dress up like they would,
Well,
as
here's
they
the
would.
deal. I've been to Memphis so many times over the years, and especially during Elvis week, and it'll be over 100 degrees outside. I mean, it'll be hot as hell out there. You know what I mean? And everybody's miserable. I'm wearing short shorts and a tank top, and I'm sweating. And you'll see guys wearing a sequin jumpsuit and a cape and a wig
Yeah.
and sunglasses
Yeah.
and giant sideburns.
But see,
And
they're
they'll
not.
just-
But they're not making fun of Elvis. They actually think they're Elvis.
And you know what? And they're just walking around. They're walking down Beale Street. They're crossing the street. They're out in public like this. You know what I mean? So to me,
Yeah.
it's just funny. So I'm making fun of that.
Yeah.
Because the deal is, Elvis, those jumpsuits were for the stage.
You're right. It's
You
not
know.
like he's going to be walking around in
Yeah, Elvis wore flashy clothes out in public.
Yeah.
But he didn't wear the jumpsuits out in public.
Right.
I know one time there's that photo of him leaving like a car dealership, and he's wearing a jumpsuit. I don't know what was going on that day. That day he probably said, "Oh, what the hell? I'm wearing a jumpsuit," But normally that was for the stage. So
Oh,
I'm just, that's what I'm making fun of.
Well, good. And like I said,
And I'm not really making fun of it.
No.
I find it funny. So that's what I'm doing.
Oh, come on, Mara, man. You know who this is. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be busy for the next few hours, man. Yeah, just keep everything, just keep it going, man. Yeah, I'm training for the show. Okay, TCB.
And we have to have some kind of humor with this.
Right.
It's not like we're poking fun of Elvis. And I'm sure Elvis had a great sense of humor himself. So it's not like, again, we're not mocking him in any way. So people are really jumping at you, saying that you're making fun of him.
Yeah.
Or when you did the Michael Presley video, they actually thought you were trying to say that you are his son. Elvis Presley's son.
Yeah. Some people thought that I thought that I was Elvis's son.
And you're making fun of, yeah.
No, I was making fun of a guy that thought he was Elvis's son, Michael
Although
Presley.
that might be true. He's coming out with the book, so we look forward to that video.
It's crazy.
Now, how are you gonna feel if he actually has documentation and proof solidifying that he is Elvis's true son?
How am I gonna feel?
How are you gonna feel?
I'm not gonna feel anything because it'll never happen.
Okay, well,
I can't even.
well, you're
I
gonna
can't
fight
even
your
give you an
words
answer.
because
I
you know
can't give you an
it was
answer.
awesome to hear from the gentleman that reached out to us. This gentleman reached out, and I can't. The name is slipping, but he actually sent us a message saying how much he liked our Michael Presley video, and
Yeah.
that Michael was thanking us for that. I guess for that exposure, because the truth is
He works with Michael.
he works with
Right.
Michael, and he said that he is in fact Elvis Presley's son, and he can vouch
Yeah,
for that.
yeah.
So he said his book's coming out soon, so we're looking forward to
Yeah.
that
Did-
info.
Oh, by the way, Mari, did you ever meet my uncle?
Who's your uncle?
Frank Sinatra.
Oh.
You never met my uncle? My other uncle is Robert De Niro. So,
We know that.
you gotta meet these guys.
Oh, shit.
You know? We could all hang out.
All right, let's move on. We're almost done with your side of the. We want to ask you, what else are you into? Can you give us
What
some-
else am I into?
Yeah, what else are you into besides the whole Elvis Presley and the Jerry Lee collecting and all that? What else are you into?
Everybody knows I only like Elvis.
Yeah, you forgot to mention your Memphis
Yeah.
music, apart from Jerry Lee and Elvis.
Yeah. Mari,
You have so much.
I only like Elvis. I'm a devoted Elvis fan. I don't like anything else. We only watch and listen to Elvis.
That's it. No,
No,
stagnant.
okay,
You're lying.
Crazy. You know what I mean? I don't know. Are there really people out there that
Yeah.
only... I love Elvis.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
I
they come
love
at
it.
you because they say that you're not supposed to be a Priscilla fan. Remember
Well,
that because we're supposed to be only talking about Elvis on our channel, not Priscilla. If we
Yeah,
were
yeah.
actual fans, do you
Well,
agree with that?
I mean, I feel like on our channel, we could just talk about whatever we want. I mean, most of the time it's going to be Elvis. Almost all of the
So
time.
it's not because you have the hots for her, like somebody
Somebody said I have the hots for Priscilla. You know, I think they were trying to drive a wedge between me and Mari.
I think so. I think they were trying to get me to say, "Oh yeah."
They're like, he has the hots for Priscilla. That's why he's doing all this stuff.
I just had to laugh. I thought that was
You know,
what a comment.
wouldn't that be disrespectful to Elvis for me to have hots for Priscilla? I'm not trying to have the hots for her. You know. I mean, damn, I'm not gonna. It's like when you and your woman break up and your buddies move in and try to get with her. You know, I'm not trying to do that to the king. Come on, what do you think this is?
So apart from Elvis and Jerry Lewis, you
Um,
like other music, right? You like Stax, anything that was
I
produced
love
and written down.
Stax. I love, after going to Memphis like 30 or 40 times, one time I was down there and I'm like, Stax, let's go to Stax and see what this is about. So
Yeah.
that's, soul music. I
Yeah.
love the Memphis soul music,
Yeah.
like Isaac Hayes,
Mhm.
the Barkays,
yeah.
Sam and Dave, just all kinds of Rufus Thomas,
Yeah.
Carla Thomas, his daughter,
Gosh.
just the list goes on and on. I love the Stax sound. So, and then,
So I know you did mention that you like other artists besides that kind of music.
well, I love
what
Chris
you're into.
Isaac, which, he has that Elvis sound.
Mhm.
And he even says that he got his sound from listening to Elvis's early Sun records.
And you did meet him before, right? You met with.
I met Chris Isaac. I gave Chris Isaac a photo of himself, to sign for me. And he saw that I had an Elvis tattoo. He was looking at my tattoos, and he saw I had an Elvis tattoo. And so on the photo, he signed Chris Isaac, and then he wrote Elvis is King. And he drew a little crown on himself. So that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, I like Chris Isaac. I used to see him all the time in concert,
Mhm.
And I love Lyle Lovett. I'm a huge Lyle Lovett fan, People are probably like, Lyle Lovett? Who is this guy? But yeah, I love Lyle Lovett.
Mhm.
Elvis, I love Elvis Costello.
Yeah.
A different Elvis.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Nope.
Another Elvis who's a singer, but he's not an impersonator.
No.
So yeah, I like Elvis Costello. I've met him before.
Yeah.
If I could find the photo, I'll throw it in there where I met Elvis Costello. I love Johnny Cash, of course, Roy Orbison, Carl Perkins, Robert Cray.
Yeah.
I love blues. I love B.B. King.
And don't forget the ladies. You got Dionne Warwick, right?
Dionne Warwick. Yeah.
Patsy Cline.
Patsy Cline. Yeah.
Dolly Parton.
We went and saw Patsy Cline's
Memorial.
We saw where the plane crashed. Where
Which
Patsy Cline's plane
did
crashed.
not match the movie at all.
In the movie, it was a mountain.
Like a mountain.
There was a mountain or a giant cliff.
There was nothing.
In reality, it's just a patch of woods.
Yeah. Could you have moved a mountain?
Yeah. So, but you know who else? When we first got together, me and Mari, when we first met, we were listening to a lot of. Well, I was listening to, for some reason at that time, I was listening to a lot of Steely Dan.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It was like this Steely Dan phase I was going through.
And then when we got together,
Steely Dan has that song where they sing about Elvis.
Which one? I forgot what it's called.
There's this line where he says something like "nothing but blues and Elvis." I don't know, but anyways.
Nothing but blues and Elvis.
But we were listening to Nancy Sinatra
And Lee.
Hazelwood.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. That was our album.
They have a great album.
Yes.
That Lee Hazelwood is the guy that wrote "These Boots Are Made for Walking."
Yeah.
And he produced it for Nancy. And he ended up writing this whole album, and him and Nancy do all these duets on this album. Which is
so
called
awesome.
Nancy and Lee. Yeah. That's the name of the album, Nancy and Lee.
Is it Lee and Nancy or Nancy and Lee?
It's Nancy and Lee. They give her the first billing. Yeah. But that is like...
Oh, wow.
If you guys have never heard... I know you've probably heard These Boots Are Made for Walking, or you've seen Nancy in Speedway with Elvis. And she does a song in that movie that's actually a pretty good song. I can't remember what it is. But you guys gotta listen to her.
And Lee.
With Lee Hazelwood.
Yes.
Because, God, those songs are so good.
Yeah, we have such a nice memories when we first met. Because that was our go-to album. We would sit there and let it play and just talk for hours.
They do their own version of Jackson.
Yeah.
The song that Johnny and June do.
Which I'm telling you, we should do that skit. It would just be something funny to do.
Yeah.
Just imitating them because
it's funny.
They're so good together. Yeah. It's almost like they don't make a nice couple, but then they do. It's kind of like...
Well, they weren't a real couple.
No, they weren't.
But, all these songs they do make them seem like they're
a real
couple.
Yeah. So, very nice. Yeah. So, do you have any other hobbies besides collecting and all that?
Besides collecting, what are my hobbies? What do I do?
Well, you do a lot of hands-on projects here. You do a lot of craftsman stuff, kind of.
Well, here's the thing.
To build stuff.
I know there's probably a lot of collectors out there that watch people that have Elvis stuff. When you have a bunch of Elvis stuff, or maybe you have some giant Star Trek collection or something. I don't know. I'm always rearranging.
Yep.
I'm always like, next week we're gonna put that over there. Yeah. Things are always changing around here. So
always.
we have so many collections around here, other than the Elvis collection.
You do.
You guys remember those Avon bottles back in like the 80s?
Yep.
We have like over 100 of those. A lot of them were shaped like cars or animals or trains or whatever.
You definitely have to do a video on that.
But we have a huge collection of those. I've been rearranging those,
Well, one thing that's going to stand out for all your friends, we have to this is the most important question of all. Well, besides the last one, too.
Uh-oh.
In regards to Elvis, what does Elvis mean to you?
Ooh, what does Elvis mean to me? Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, the thing is, Elvis is everything, to me. What would I be without Elvis? I can't even imagine who I would be, So, Elvis is everything to me. He made me who I am, you know. I mean, sure, my parents have something to do with that, you know.
Yeah.
But growing up, I just always looked up to Elvis.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to be like Elvis.
Yeah. For what
And
reason? What brings you to that?
it's not just the voice or the looks, you know. It's everything, the charisma. It's just,
yeah.
he had it all, you know.
Ability. Yeah.
And so, you know, when everybody was listening to New Kids on the Block,
Which I was, no.
right, and you know, because I grew up I was born in 79, so I grew up in the 90s or whatever.
Showing your age, huh?
Yeah, so it wasn't really cool. I mean, people thought it was neat that I liked Elvis, but it was, it's not like I had all their friends that I could be like, hey, let's go listen to Elvis. It's like I was the only one.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I just, you know, I soaked it all in. You know, I was in 100%. I was all Elvis, you know. So like I said, even in school, I didn't have a lot of friends in school, but everybody knew who I was because they knew me as the Elvis kid, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody would be like, oh, that's Elvis, you know, that's Elvis. Because I'd always be singing my Elvis songs in school, you know.
Right.
And even in grade school, I remember when I was in 5th grade, we had 2 5th grade classes in the school. The other 5th grade teacher came to my class and borrowed me to come to her class because she wanted me to sing Elvis for her you know,
That's pretty
students.
neat.
So yeah.
Well, that's good.
Back then, see, when I was younger and I used to sing like Elvis, you know, my parents and everybody would be like, you got to do something with this. You got to do something with this, you know? And I never did, you know? But when you're young and you can sing like Elvis, I mean, people, they eat it up. They love that stuff, you know?
Right.
When you get older and you're doing it, it's just like, what's this guy
Well,
doing?
the thing is that they always expect you to sound exact. Like if you miss a beat, it's like right away, it's like, he's not doing it.
Nobody can sound exactly
Nobody's
like
going to
Elvis,
sound like
you
him.
know?
So not even all these impersonators, and I'm sorry, including that Dean Z, whatever his name is.
I mean, they can get close.
They can get close.
But they're never going to get it right.
Nobody's going to get it right.
Nobody can.
Nobody's Elvis.
Nobody can. So,
So hats off to them for trying. And to you.
hey,
And to you. So our biggest question, we're coming to a close, Adam. Why did you decide to start AM Vintage?
oh my God, AM Vintage?
What's the
This
purpose of the channel?
This crazy place? How did this all start?
How did this start for you?
I'm not some YouTube guy. What is this? I'm just a crazy Elvis fan, you know?
You didn't mention that. You did start YouTube back in the day, but it wasn't something to the way it is now.
I might have started, I don't know what year the channel started. That's just the year that I
You signed
opened
up.
my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But initially I wasn't making videos.
Yeah. Because realistically, people that, for you guys, for our friends to understand that, we just started AM Vintage.
We just started doing these
Yeah,
videos about,
actually last-
about 6 months ago or
yeah.
something?
So we've never done anything other than that. Adam already
Well,
had
what
his
happened
account.
was COVID happened, you know, and everybody was stuck at home. So I made a few like crazy little videos.
And this was before we met.
Before I met Mari,
Yeah.
I made a few like weird little videos, and those are the early videos on our channel.
Then you might scroll
You
down
might
to.
go down and you'll see these videos that have nothing to do with anything else. Like a video where I'm doing a hula hoop.
And I've asked Adam, I'm like, why don't you delete that? It has nothing to do with AM Vintage.
Yeah.
But he's right. You know, I
just want to
think
keep
it's a
those
good
on there.
thing to know exactly where Adam was
Yeah.
at that time.
One of the early videos is like my daughter playing with dolls. You know, like...
Yeah.
But I didn't know what kind of channel we were going to do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the early videos after Mari and I got together, before Mari got involved, I was just like, I would go to my work,
Yeah.
my brother's pizza place, and I would make a pizza crust, and I would film that. And that was one of our first videos that got like 600,000 views, you know. And it was just me making a pizza crust. And once we got the 600,000 views on one video,
Yeah.
I think we thought like, well, why not try to make some more videos, you know?
Now, I think we started with skits.
We started doing skits,
Um,
you know, me wearing booty shorts, hitchhiking on the side of the road, or
And we like the comedy. We do. We like to make each other laugh.
I dressed
so.
like Elvis and went shopping at Target.
Yeah.
We did some our own interpretation of songs where we changed the lyrics, right? To some,
A little me. What were they? Voiceovers.
The one where I was in the bathroom with the
Oh yeah, with the spray.
with the air freshener. Yeah, so
we did our own little.
we were trying our own little comedy.
Our little, yeah.
I told Mari, I said, we're like Laurel and Hardy. And she's like, not Laurel and Hardy. We're like Lucy and Ricky. You know?
Oh, yeah. So.
Except for, I think you're Ricky and I'm Lucy. That's the difference. You know?
So what's the purpose of this channel? What do you think what are you trying to do with this channel?
I think I just want to have a good time, you know? We're just trying to, as long as we can have fun doing it and people enjoy watching it, I just want to keep making these videos where, you know, a lot of times they're going to be about Elvis because I love Elvis. Mari loves Elvis. That's one thing we have in common.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy for us to make Elvis videos. But we also want to make other type of videos, you know?
Yeah.
We have other interests. So every once in a while, like just a while back, you probably saw an ABBA video pop up on our channel.
On a short. Mm-hmm.
So every once in a while, we're going to do something different. But
Are you dancing to Fleetwood Mac?
dancing to Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah. So.
But I love going to Memphis and filming content there. And when we go to Memphis, we stock up on content, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
So I love doing that, and just keep doing these videos on the collection,
Yeah, promoting basically
on
Love for Elvis.
Elvis movies, his music, you know, whatever you guys, you know, come up with. So, yeah.
All right. Any closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are I'm about to interview you. So isn't that exciting?
Oh, no.
And it's going to be a different setting. We're going to move, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to move from this Elvis setting. We're on the Elvis floor of the house right now. So every room on this floor is Elvis. But for the Amari segment, we're going to move downstairs into the dungeon, the basement.
Oh no.
Our house is like 100 years old.
Yeah.
So the basement's like a dungeon. But it's full of really cool toys and 80s type stuff.
Yes.
And Mari's kind of like an 80s type of gal, you know?
I sure
So
am.
we're going to do her segment down there.
Well, thanks so much, Adam.
Yeah. Oh, you're
And
welcome.
I'm sure your friends like to thank you. And again, we're going to leave these in closing thoughts where you guys have the opportunity now to leave some questions for Adam. So when we do our upcoming video, we'll be answering your questions. So perhaps you want to learn more about Adam's background or love for Elvis.
And you know, ladies and gentlemen,
Cool.
we want to start doing lives.
Yes.
But here's the deal. At the moment, in order to do a live, you got to have a nice computer. And which we had a really nice computer, but we also have a really nice cat. And our cat somehow jumped right onto our computer. And so anyways,
Stuck the whole.
so we're waiting until we get a new computer
Yes.
to start doing the live.
Actually, it's the laptop. Okay.
Yeah.
He broke my laptop,
Yeah,
so and we just we're trying to.
once we
we
get a
yeah.
better setup, you know, some
We'll be
better
doing our
equipment.
lives soon.
Yeah, we're gonna start doing the lives.
We need to get some money for that.
But right now we're using our phones.
Yeah.
So like a
So
lot
please.
of YouTubers use their phones.
Yeah, so you guys bear with us.
But yeah, bear with us with that. But
Alrighty.
now it's your turn, Mari.
Oh
So
no.
we're gonna switch it up. You guys are gonna see something different. And coming up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It's the Mari Show, everybody.
It's the Mari
Here's
Show.
Mari.